Alright, section 4.1 is graphing quadratic functions that are in standard form. And standard form will look like this. And the first example that we're going to look at is graphing y equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 8. And doing this is not too tough. There's one thing you have to remember, and that's the formula negative b over 2a. And that's going to tell us your axis of symmetry. Okay, so first thing you need to do is label your a. Your a is negative 1. It's the term out in front of the x squared, and your b is 6. So plugging that into the formula, we have negative b, which is negative 6, over 2a, which is negative 1. And when you simplify that, you get 3. So the axis of symmetry is just an imaginary line going through 3 on the x-axis. From there, you know that you can find your vertex, so you're going to plug 3 into your original equation, which is this up here. And so let's take the time to do that. So you're going to have negative, then your x value that you found was 3. You're going to square it, plus the 6 times x, which is 3, and minus 8. And all we did was plug it into this equation right here. Okay, and when we get that, we get 1. So that's the first point I'm plotting, 3 and 1. That is my vertex. The rest of it's pretty simple. Okay, you just either choose a point to the right, like 4 or 5, or choose a point to the left, like 2 or 1. Because right now we're at 3. So I'm just going to choose a smaller number. I'm going to choose 2, and I'm going to choose 1, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to hit second and enter, and I'm going to change those 3's to 2's. And I get 0. Then we'll go back to the same thing, second enter, change those 2's to 1's. And I get negative 3. So from there, just plot those 2 points, 2, 0, and 1, negative 3. And then you're going to do the exact same thing around the axis of symmetry. And it's going to be, again, my graph's not drawn to scale, but it should look the same on both sides of the axis. And we also knew that since the a value was less than 0, that it was going to be an N-shaped graph. If the a value would have been greater than 0, the graph would have been U-shaped. Okay. Another type of question they can ask, and it's relatively easy. You don't have to graph it. There's an example in the book. It says it gives you y equals 3x squared minus 18x plus 20. And it says min or max, and at what value. Okay, so really to find the minimum or maximum, you say, well, I got to find the vertex. So we're using that formula, negative b over 2a, and that will tell you. So our a is 3, our b is negative 18, so you just plug it in. Negative 18 over 2a is going to get you 3. So we know, first off, we know it's going to be a minimum value because our a is positive, and since a is greater than 0, we know it's going to be a U-shaped, which means that there's going to be a minimum value at that vertex. So we can answer the first question, minimum at, and then the point is going to be 3 something. So just like the previous problem where we don't have to graph it this time, we just plug 3 in. So 3, and then 3 squared minus 18 times 3 plus 20, and you get negative 7. That is pretty much it for chapter 4.1.